Hey guys, Mike here, and this is my detailed review of the Dell Inspiron 13 7000 series. It's a 13-inch 2-in-1 convertible laptop with a fairly affordable price tag, Dell's alternative to the Lenovo Yoga 213 or the Asus Transformer Book Flip TP300. It offers a Full HD IPS touchscreen, Intel Haswell hardware, a backlit keyboard, and pretty much all the features you'd expect from a modern 13-inch Ultrabook for between $650 to $900 at the time of this video, based on the configuration you'll end up choosing. All these goodies are tucked inside the nice looking silver case, which is made from plastic but actually feels very strong, as the laptop hardly bulges even when pressing on the lid cover or in the middle of the keyboard. The entire body has a soft rubbery coating which offers excellent grip, and at the same time I believe it should resist scratches quite well. But there's something about this Dell's aesthetics. It has a unique allure that I liked from the moment I got it out of the box. The longer edges are nicely rounded, while the left and right sides are straightly cut, and that makes in my opinion for both a beautiful and a practical design. On top of this, the Inspiron is really simple, with just a Dell logo on the hood and some stickers on the palm rest and the belly that could be easily peeled off, but nothing else disturbs the aesthetics. On the other hand, the Inspiron 13 7000 is heavy, tipping up the scales at about 3.7 pounds, and not the slimmest 13-incher out there either. As long as you'll keep it on a desk, that shouldn't bother you at all, but once you pick it up or turn it into a tablet, you'll quickly feel the weight. Regardless, I'd say Dell hit a nice compromise here. They made the laptop a bit heavier, but at the same time made it strong. As mentioned earlier, this device is convertible and its screen flips around the back to 360 degrees. Two hinges are the liaison between the body and the display, and they are made of metal. Just like on other laptops built on the same form factor, the keyboard remains exposed underneath when having this in stand or tablet mode, but the guys at Dell were careful to minimize the risks here. On one hand, the keys and the trackpad are deactivated once the screen goes past 180 degrees, and on the other the keyboard is recessed and framed by a plastic rim that's just a bit higher than the keys. So when you put the laptop down as a stand, it will lean on this rim. At the same time, the rim is less pronounced towards the front of the laptop, so it won't interfere with the typing experience. All these are small details, but they do make a difference in daily use. Speaking of that keyboard, I can conclude in a few words that I like it. Dell went for a simple chiclet layout, so everything is just where you'd expect it to be. The top row defaults in quick toggles for adjusting the sound volume, screen's brightness, and so on. And that took me a bit of time to get used to, but it's not a deal breaker by any means. I had no problems typing several thousand words on this keyboard. The stiff keys offer good feedback and travel deep enough inside the frame for this class, so I can say this Dell is suited for a heavy typist, placing the overall experience next to what you're getting with the Lenovo ThinkPads or the MacBook Air. The keyboard is also backlit and you can adjust the brightness level manually by hitting the F10 key, or you can turn off the illumination if you want to. Now, I do have mixed feelings about the trackpad though. Its surface is rough and feels like some sort of sandpaper, which is a lot different than the glass clickpads offered by most modern Ultrabooks these days. But that's okay, one could get used to the feeling. However, while this thing was mostly accurate and responsive, occasionally the cursor would get jumpy and even perform clicks all by itself out of the blue. And that can be really annoying and should be addressed, as it's probably a driver's glitch. Moving on, there's a very nice screen on this laptop. 13.3 inch in diagonal with an IPS panel and 1920 by 1080 pixel resolution. But the panel's overall quality really makes it stand out, as it delivers solid contrast, wide viewing angles, and accurate colors out of the box. The max brightness is just shy of 300 nits, which might not be enough if you plan on using the device outdoors or in bright light, but that aside, there's nothing I could say wrong about this screen. Dell does include a stylus with the laptop, which can be tucked away in its slot placed on the right edge. It's just a capacitive stylus though, and the screen lacks a digitizer, thus cannot be properly used for taking notes or handwriting. In fact, it can barely be used for drawing, unless you make sure to touch the screen with a pen only, as palm rejection isn't working as it should, at least not in the apps I've tried. So while the stylus is a nice addition in theory, in reality it's mostly something you can use when you don't want to touch the screen with your fingers, but not much else. I'll also tell you a few things about the I/O. You'll find a Kensington lock on the right edge next to the PSU, the HDMI port, two USB 3.0 slots, the headset jack and one of the speakers. The other is placed on the left edge, where you'll also find the power button, a volume rocker, an USB 2.0 port, the card reader and the stylus I was mentioning earlier. There's also a battery activity monitor on the front lip. The sideways facing speakers are actually punchy, but the audio quality is meh, as they sound thinny and lack any kind of bass. But it's not like you can find significantly better in this class. I've kept the side about the performance for the end, because this laptop is just like many other Haswell built ultrabooks available right now. The tested configuration includes an Intel Core i5-4210U processor, 8GB of RAM and a 500GB hard drive. The good news is that both the RAM and the storage are upgradable, and I'll tell you all about that in the written review available on ultrabookreview.com, where I'll include some benchmark results if you're interested in those. Check out the description for the link. So we're not going to insist on what this thing is capable of, but I will tell you that it can easily handle everyday tasks. It can run all sorts of video content and even some light games. The hardware is fan-cooled, but the fan will remain mostly switched off as long as you're using the computer lightly and will only kick in when needed. Even so, this Dell is never completely silent as it comes with a spinning hard drive, but that can be addressed if you want to. Overall, Dell did a great job with this Inspiron 13-7000. They built it really well, put a nice screen and keyboard on it, squeezed the right hardware inside and made sure it performs properly. They did cut the corner when it comes to the battery though, going for a 43Wh one, while both Asus and Lenovo pack 50Wh batteries on their options. And that only allows for roughly 4 hours of daily use and even less when watching 1080p video content. When idle though, and with the screen completely dimmed, the laptop will last for up to 10 hours, so there's a fair chance you might get more than what I got if you'll manage it more carefully. But even with the short battery and the lacking trackpad, this Dell should make it to your list. The tested configuration is available for about $750 right now on Dell's website and even cheaper in some other web stores, while a similarly configured Lenovo Yoga 213 sells for about $900 and an Asus Transformer Book Flip TP300 for about $700 as well. And it's not like these two don't have their share of issues. So at the end of the day, while not without quirks, the Dell Inspiron 13-7000 is a good device and should be on your list if you're after a 13-inch 2-in-1 convertible and only have about $700 to spend. With that in mind, we'll end this clip here. Thanks for watching, don't forget to read the detailed review on ultrabookreview.com for the extra things that were not included in the video, and stay close for my next updates. Catch you later.